There is my man. How you doing tonight, Danny?
Not doing too bad, bud. You?
Not too bad at all. It'll be interesting to see how many folks we actually have joining us tonight, simply because, of course, the only Canadian team that is left in the playoffs, the Montreal Canadiens, are playing and currently playing right now. I'd love a score update if anybody has one.
And 2-1 Buffalo.
2-1 Buffalo. Wow.
Just check. I was just thinking, I'm like, this is good. Why don't we just turn this into a hockey podcast or just go that way? Because, what great news do we have? I mean, the Toronto Maple Leafs got the first overall pick.
Yep.
And then we got the Montreal Canadiens in there. So the two rivals going the opposite direction, really. And I am a Leaf fan, so I got to bring them up. So I got to go that way. Anyway.
It gets tough every year. It gets tough and tough fighting for, of course, all of the interest and events that are going on all over the place. But needless to say, we still have to pump the tires of what we're doing. We still have to push it because there is lots going on. And what better way to do it than 8:00 on a Wednesday night?
Yeah, why not, eh?
Why not? Well, with that being said, we might as well get right into it. We may not have to go the whole hour, but basically, if you have any updates, and Danny and I were talking before we went live, and folks that are joining us, we certainly understand full well what's going on out in the world, and it is concerning, with the price of gas. And talk a little bit about some of the decisions that you've had to make when it comes to your tournament season.
Well, it seems to be a live and fluid event, and normally by now we've got our decision kind of settled in, and we may have a couple of options. I know I'm going to be my first event this year will be Duberville in beginning of June, their Father's Day weekend, and then I've been lucky enough. I got an invite to the Cabela's Bass Pro National Team Championship in Sioux, Michigan, so I'm really looking forward to that in July. In August, well, I have plans. I really want to go up to Hearst. I haven't been up there yet, but I'm not committed to that yet. And then obviously in September we have the North Channel Walleye Open, so that's my backyard where I'm committed. But that's where my mind is looking. And you have your commitments going to that. And I do have to add, I'm actually fishing a bass event this year. I will be fishing the Huron Bass High Eater event in August, beginning of August. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. But so normally, in a regular year, I would be talking right now. There would be no ifs, ands, or buts. These are the ones I'm doing, and I may sneak these guys in. Whereas I'm very happy that I could talk about 5 tournaments, because I thought one not long ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, that I was going to be lucky to do only 3 events, and it's just the cost of everything, especially here in Northern Ontario with some of our events. It's the fuel. The further north you get, the more expensive it gets. Lodging. Not necessarily that it's more expensive, it's just that there's far and few amounts of it. So sometimes you get lodging, you get a good price on it, but you're 40 minutes from the event. So those all play factors. And it's really, like we're talking about, it's, the only thing we seem to be talking about now is the cost of fuel, because boats are terrible at fuel mileage.
Yeah.
And especially during a tournament event. And,
even the reserve fuel, like you mentioned the price before we went live, like that's as much of a savings in comparison to what we're paying down here in the GTA, it's still a lot of money.
Oh, absolutely. And like we had so it was kind of funny because yesterday I was in Night Lake with my mother-in-law to bring her to a doctor's appointment up there, and it was $1.77 up there at the 2 gas stations. And locally on the reserve close to my home here, it was $1.57. So it was 20 cents. It was a big difference for 40 kilometers. And then we had a price increase. I noticed that the Circle River Gas Bar they went up 10 cents. So then this morning I was talking to Mary Lisa about that, where she's like, oh yeah, she's like, Elliott Lake's $1.95 now. So like that's amazing what happens overnight. And nobody understands how fuel pricing works. I mean, I don't understand. Barrel goes up $1 and all of a sudden gasoline goes up 30 cents. It's unbelievable. I don't know. And then it drops $10 a barrel, but the gasoline doesn't move. So I don't understand how they do their pricing, and I don't even want to try, and I don't want to go down that political road.
Well, the benchmarking has changed. I don't officially know what the change has been, but I do know that the argument has been made that, listen, our price per barrel is no different than it was, a few years back, and we were only paying this much. Well, apparently the price is now set by a different benchmark, and unfortunately it's elevated compared to what it was. when this all first started to go haywire. But regardless of what the truth is, at the end of the day, there is no need for it to be this high. I think obviously the folks that are in charge of making some decisions that we're having to deal with, we're going to have to eat. And I guess my question is, for how much longer? Like, how much longer are we going to have to eat this?
Shit, we could take the whole hour just talking about this. We work in the trades, so we know the trades and we understand the things. And, you know, you can't just build things overnight. Like if we say, you know what, okay, we're going to build 10 refineries in Ontario, we know that doesn't matter how fast we do, how many things we just bulldoze over to get it done. We're at least 2-3 years before they're operational. You know what I mean? So by the time you get that happen, that's the problem, and that's the realistic way. But I don't want to go down that road. So, but it goes to show how that's affecting us as anglers, because immediately we start talking about that, and we're gone in that direction, right? And yeah. So thanks to Mitch's comment right there. That's the other factor we got. Mother Nature's not happy with us either. She's been throwing a lot of curveballs. Well, I'm lucky we're out of that, but yeah, a lot of people out there.
It's going to be interesting, not just because of the fuel and actually, you know, what we'd like to pose for the bunch of you that are watching right now, you know, is the current state of gas prices and the uncertainty of the future of gas prices affecting some of the decisions you're making on, you know, what you're going to do this summer, what tournaments you're going to participate in. Maybe, you know, let's say you had high school buddies. We always get together for, you know, a weekend of fishing. You know, that doesn't look like it's going to be feasible this year. There's a lot of things that people unfortunately are going to have to make decisions on that they didn't think that they would have to before this all started. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to say that there are going to be some changes in some people's calendars for the summer.
And it's a great point, actually, Scott. We have a great audience here, that people that, especially within the CFN world, that we can lean on. And so we've had multiple discussions. We were having some tonight regarding pricing and making adjustments and doing different things. And so we're open to any idea. At the end of the day, we're doing this. You know, we don't make any money off these events, so the pricing doesn't really matter. The reason why the pricing is set where it is, that's the prize money.
Yeah.
So if we lower the registration, therefore we have to lower the prize, give it out. So if anybody has a solution out there or knows a sponsor that's willing, hey, well, I'll throw $10,000 your way, then we'll gladly lower those prices and that. So, you know, we've come up with our other solutions to try and play around to try and help everything out. And that's with the online events, as we push heavily into that world to lower costs, where all of a sudden we're throwing free events or $60 events, and we're able to give different prices and whatnot. But yeah, it's kind of interesting because I do. Everybody we've talked over the years, lower the price. Well, if you lower the price, then we can't pay you a $10,000 payout.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have both. So it's, unfortunately, we're in that world. And I'm pretty sure, like, I've had conversations with older guys back in the day. They had way better sponsorships back then for events that, you know, in the 90s and early 2000s, like, registration was much lower, but their payouts were much higher. Like, so it's kind of interesting to see that we're in this situation, but I don't know how to rectify it for angling, because I am an angler. I am a tournament angler. I love doing it. This is the reason why I'm doing all this. And I'm in the same hurdle as everybody else. And, you know, sponsorship, especially in Canada, is really non-existent from a financial standpoint.
Yep.
There are many people that want to dish out dollar amounts to help us out. Product-wise, yes. And I'm hearing the same thing coming from some of the U.S. anglers that I know. So it's I really think social media played a factor in that, because all of a sudden the products are getting promoted without really anybody having to put that kind of effort into it. But it's a win-win in a way too, right?
100%.
What's your thoughts here? Yeah, I'm going on a tangent here, but I
think it's a discussion that we all need to have. Gary, I know you're online and you helped out with the one walleye event that was out in the Bay Quinte. I really was concerned because there were two events that were actually running out there at the same time. And, you know, as Danny and I are talking about, you know, let's face it, the well is starting to get dry in terms of the number of anglers that truly want to go out and compete and have the ability and the means to compete. So when I heard that the two were going on at the same time, I'm thinking, geez, man, how is that going to work out? Seemed like it was well received. Seemed like everybody had a good time, and it was both were successful events. Mm-hmm. I don't know the inner details, but, you know, Gary, if you want to chime in, like, were you expecting more, and perhaps maybe what's going on in the world brought the numbers down a little bit, sort of tempered the excitement?
And I think that's also when you look at that, it's also a demographic. Southern Ontario, that whole Belleville, Kingston area, there's a much higher population, so the traveling is less for people as opposed to Northern Ontario. Spanish is a small community. There's 750 people here. Sudbury's an hour away. It's got about 100,000. So our well's a little bit different. Anglers are different here. There's not as many. I'm reading the comment from Sean, and there's not as many degenerate, fanatical walleye anglers or bass anglers up here. We're a small group up here, but we all keep doing it. That's why we're doing it. So
it's awesome stuff. And I so much appreciate Sean for a bunch of reasons, but his candidness is just, it's awesome. But Sean is someone that has that competitive nature, wants to win, has certainly fished enough tournaments to be considered a tournament savvy angler. But like Sean, I don't know how many you still fish, if you do fish at all, but if you were, let's just say you were, with everything that's going on, price of everything's just gone through the roof. Would you be thinking otherwise, or would you be the degenerate that you assume that you are and just build it and they will come kind of thing?
Yeah, we're gonna get some of the tackle store owners that I know. We're gonna get them on a Storm Time talk about it a little bit down the line and see how they actually fared out, how things are going, because I'm curious about that. And I know the answer, but it's kind of nice to have them share, and if they're willing. But
I'll drive you up to the place somewhere. That's just all about you. You're awesome.
Come on over. We're not that far away, and you're gonna have a great time.
I'm going to tell you, just make sure it's not a cloudy night when you go out to the fire, Danny. Sean has a fascination for satellites, an absolute fascination.
Oh, we got lots of them up here.
It's more of an inside joke.
A
little confusing for a few at first. Weighing in, fish at the wrong station. Yeah, I can totally understand how that would have happened. And I'm not sure if both were multi-species events, Gary. I know one was. I'm just interested because I didn't hear much in regards to how it all turned out, but I was certainly concerned with the fact that two of them, were sort of fighting for all the fish. And again, I don't know how many anglers we have to be able to make two events successful out there. But listen, tip of the hat to both that did it. It was risky, and hopefully everything turned out okay.
I'm not gonna lie, like living up here, I follow a lot of the stuff on social media, and when I seen the two Quint events at the same time, I was really surprised by that. I really thought, I'm not sure that's the question too, right? Because like we have our venue, there's a time slot that I have for it that works best for the community and for ourselves and stuff like that, along with the fishing. So we're very lucky that we get to have it. In fact, the later, even better for us in a sense for bigger fish. But I'm not sure if they had those restrictions either, or those kind of stuff. But yeah.
There is only one Quinn. There are no others.
I've got a story for that, but that's an offline kind of story.
Absolutely.
It does involve my buddy Nick. So,
so let's bring people up to speed. Obviously, sure. NCOO is the main event that we're going to be hosting in September. As I run through some of the ad decks, just give us some highlights, Dan, what to expect, some of the features, and I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. We're basically got what we had last year. So the whole venue is the same, the marina, the launch, the weigh scale, and everything else. And we're working at fine tuning those features as well as how we did everything with our with Scottie, with the MC stuff and our stage layouts and everything else. So we're very happy to be in that point right now. And the reason why we're there is sponsors like Vance's Resort and Ramaco's and Moxie's and the Trading Post and Garnets and stuff like that have all jumped on board rather quickly. So they've let us kind of we can actually take a breath now from the sponsorship side and start focusing more on promoting the event and getting it all rigged up for everybody to set up. So some of the things that we're very, very excited about is Bolton Foods, for example. I mean, we went out of our way. One of the reasons why our venue is really important to us is that we feed everybody. So Thursday at the rules meeting, you're eating on us. Friday after weigh-in at the event, you're eating on us, and same thing with Saturday during the award ceremony. And Bolton Foods is going to be providing us with a steak dinner, and it's also complemented with Tanner's Independent Grocers here in Espanola. So they're the two of them get joined to help us out, and but Bolton Foods like miles above, like knowing what they gave us to help us out for all the anglers is going to be a great time. I can't wait to do that. And obviously Great Lakes. Great Lakes has really helped us out with their loyalty award. So that's a new one. So if you fished last year, you sign up. We decided to give you a chance at winning your money back and saying thank you very much for participating last year in our first event. And I hope that we can keep this as a long form standing going forward. And we have some great prize packs for our early bird giveaways that Scottie was able to wrangle. And, it wasn't easy. He's not a limber guy, but he was able to get them. And
I haven't touched my toes since I was in the womb, Danny.
But
yes, and I do believe that is coming up soon. As I said, we are in the month of May, and in the blink of an eye, we're going to be in the month of September. But before we get to September, of course, we do have the early bird prizes that Danny mentioned. And you wanted to say something?
I wanted to say we have one new sponsor that we've unofficially got on board. I'm going to find out that I'm confident enough to mention. So we have Moosehead Breweries that have joined on this year. So we're very, very happy with that. And if anybody knows when we get a alcohol supplier, like last year we had Coldstreams, what we do with that is if you're at an event that I'm at and I have some, I'm going to give you some drinks on the house thanks to the NCAA. And so the first event will be the Magpie Walleye Derby in Duberville.
And that's just it. We spread cheer everywhere.
We try.
Yeah, we do. We certainly do.
Drunk and happy, and then we say, "Here's the form, by the way."
But as I said, we're going to add to the deck, and I want to thank and appreciate everybody, all our sponsors and partners, for being patient. Because as I said, it takes time to put all these decks together. But I want to make sure that we highlight them in the fashion that they deserve. And as I said, you all mean so much to us because, of course, the event itself would not be a success if it wasn't for your involvement. Yeah, we definitely need to know going forward, folks that are interested in doing the tournament to actually start signing up, because at the end of the day, I understand. As Dana said, we totally get what's going on, and perhaps we might have to alter things a little bit in order to make it a little bit more appeasing and even just accessible, I guess, for folks. But
registration is our fuel tank, right?
And that's just it. But we were talking about, you'd mentioned the vanity. There's a tournament that's gone in the other direction. They've raised their fees, and the payout is just incredible.
It's an amazing venue. There's no doubt about it. I mean, that it's like the top derby in Canada. I think generally it was around $100,000 payout. This year they've got it up to $150,000. It's in first week of October in Saskatchewan. I think in Nipawin. I could be mistaken. I know it's not Last Mountain Lake. I can't remember which lake it's on now. I do know people that have fished it. They enjoyed it. Lots of big fish. But they went the other way with the registration. So last I'd seen this today, I was reading it was $3,000 after that event. And but that's the point. $3,000. They've seen registration in a decline. They've raised the rate and they've got bigger payouts. So I guess the odds are in your favor at that point. But it's it's kind of like wow. But then you realize when you start looking at the bass circuits in the United States and how much they pay for registration, like I've heard $5,000-$6,000 per event. Mm-hmm. And but the prizes coming out of that are worth it in a sense, right? I guess when you get to that elite level, it's like golf. You get your PGA card, you're still making enough to keep going. So it sounds astronomical to us at first, but when you build yourself up to that, you get to that. It's kind of worth it in a way. I haven't figured that out yet, and but nobody's let me in on the secret. I'm not sure about you, Scottie.
Nope. The secret is safe. I don't know it, nor can I spread it. I'll go through the deck again. Obviously, Raymond has a great question here, and of course, it's probably a great time to just recap the date, the price, and everything else in between.
The date and the price for the the event is held on our rules meeting is September 17th. So the event is September 18th and 19th. It's a Friday Saturday event, and it's $500 to register for that event, and you are eligible for all the prizes that are there. We have big fish prizes. We have top female angler prizes. We also, with your registration, you're included at no additional cost through Fish Donkey for our pre-fishing tournament. So for a week long prior to the event starting, you're registered into that event. So the longest fish wins first place, and it's a team event. So if your partner wins, you both win. And we're lucky with that. It's sponsored through NXS and Okuma, where we give out approximately $4,000 in cash and prizes for that. So it's as you register for one, you're automatically entered into that one. And we gave away some beautiful rods and reels last year and some cash. Everybody started off. Then we have the loyalty awards, and we have a lot of other prizes coming in and out. And there's actually quite a big list to go through. So on our Facebook page at the North Channel Walleye Open, we do break that down. We do talk about stuff like that. Yeah, so there's a lot of different options. We have the side pot, that's $200. What am I missing, Scotty? What am I throwing out there?
Well, we're probably going to be adding perhaps a few draw prizes up there.
We 100% are, yeah.
Yeah, we always do. The clothespin and the bobber usually give something cool away for that. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we decide maybe on the fly based on things that show up. Again, the prize list is it's constantly evolving just because of the involvement and support that we're getting from the area and the many vendors up in that neck of the woods. So we can't thank you folks enough, but you're certainly allowing us the ability to diversify and hand out a lot of gear to those that do participate and show up. So
and like last year, for example, like our math kind of roughly worked out between our sponsorship prizes and our cash prizes that we gave out to. It worked out to over $1,000 per team that we gave us. We had 32 teams registered, and I think we paid out $35,000 in cash and prizes by the time we were said and done. And top female prizes, we definitely encourage that. That actually is probably the highest top female players that we put out anywhere we've ever seen. It's first, second, and third place. That's $500, $300, and $200 cash plus product prizes included from Costa and Okuma all the way down the list. So you can easily walk away with quite a bit of money. And we actually seen a nice little race last year. We had about 5 girls that were among that were getting pretty active, trying to chase each other down for that. So it was nice to see. And we talked about doing it for the kids, but at the end of the day, school's on. We knew that was going to be more difficult. But yeah, we have a lot of draw prizes. It's kind of a lot we have, like, thanks to Outboard Tuning, one of our competitors that actually shows up gave us a great door prize to give away, which is a tune he does Mercury, Suzuki's, and Hondas. So if you want to burn even more fuel, no, just kidding. They actually claim you'd burn less, and I do believe that. But yeah, so it's a great prize pack because I know the value of that. So it's actually among one of our highest prize dollar values to give out.
100%. Yeah. And of course, we're going to have some returning vendors that hopefully will be hosting and housed in the mini expo that we're going to be putting on as well. We're going to try and get them inside the pavilion. They were a little sort of cast to the outside just based on logistics and making sure that we had ample room. But of course, it was our first tournament, so we didn't really know how it's all going to play out. But we are certainly going to make that a focus for this year to try and get them inside, or at least as close to the front doors as possible. So there's that going on. Not to mention, as Danny mentioned, the food and more food. The one thing that I will say, our anglers, volunteers, and anybody that stopped by, they didn't go home hungry.
No. And Spanish too is like an angler's paradise. I mean, we have lots of lodges, everything else, and everything's extremely close. I think anybody who stayed locally was no further than 10 minutes away from the lodging and the fishing. Is fantastic and stuff like that there. So it works out really well. And we can thank enough to like places like Vance's for their returning sponsors and Blue Heron Resort, stuff like that. So we have our volunteers is phenomenal. Guys, and they just keep jumping up. Like, obviously my family's heavily involved with this, my wife and my kids and my mom and my dad, Nick's parents, everybody else involved. And so we're growing in that way. And the town is Spanish is kind of, this is where I was going. I got sidetracked again, but the town is Spanish is looking at doing more things, family-oriented events during the time that we're having our event. So they want to get more community-based. It's kind of the conversations they've had with me. So we're kind of curious to see what's going to happen there with the local volunteer fire department maybe involved. I'm not too sure. So we've been we're down to help them whatever they need. But it's just, we want to bring people down there, whether you're fishing or not. We want you to come down and have a good time, check it all out. see what's available, and maybe win some of the prizes, because we will have some prizes that will be open to the public, and we're working on getting more and more stuff like that. But yeah, we want to have a good time and kind of forget the world noise and just focus in on a small group and just drink some beer and talk about fishing.
Amen. So the last thing I will say, for those who have not signed up, make sure you do. We have a great early bird prize. In fact, we have 3 of them that we're going to be giving away. And the first one is going to be given away on May 24th. And the whole reason for this is because we understand the sacrifice, not only in the money, not only in the resources, but also the time. And it's time away from getting some of the stuff done around the house. So, to keep the better half, if you will, happy and out of your hair, we're going to try and help you get some of those chores that you need to get done around the house, whether before or after the event. But needless to say, we're thinking of you guys. And I want to thank Interline for stepping up in a huge way and making that possible. So we have 3 of those to give away. The first one is May 24th. So looking forward to that.
2 weeks away or so. It's coming up quick. Yeah.
Unfreaking believable.
I believe the long weekend's coming up. And with that, we've got some online stuff that we got to get going.
I was just going to say, so with that, obviously, we do have some events that are upcoming, 2 of which we're going to be talking about now. Shane, Mike is sort of with us tonight. He managed to put a pre-recorded video together to explain a little bit more about the event that's coming after this one. But Danny, you posted this. I was certainly intrigued the minute I saw it. Because it's right down the same line and avenue as the CFN Fish Off. But these are basically late day events, or at least that was your aim, that you were going to have zones, and folks that were fishing within that zone could participate. Last week, we found out through you that you've opened it up now province-wide.
Yes. So this is kind of a brain spark that kind of came up about a month ago, and I just said, why don't I do something like this here? And my friend Tyler, who owns Garnet Rentals, is a Honda dealership. We had a quick conversation. Tyler loves it online tournaments, and I said, would you be willing to sponsor a championship? This is kind of what I have in mind. I want to do 4 qualifiers, top 5 for each qualifier goes to the championship. They win your prize. And he said, absolutely. So, with that, Tyler and Georgie at Garnet's Rentals Sports and Honda, they've given us a 2,200 watt Honda generator. So that's going to be the championship prize. I think it's valued over $2,000, $2,500. So it's an amazing prize to win on a $60 tournament. So you're registering for $60. So we have our first qualifier coming up next weekend, May 15th to the 18th. And with that, as you're fishing, you're going to be taking, we have sponsored events for each one. Make sure I don't get all mixed up here and keep my thoughts going here. So the first qualifier is sponsored by Moxie's Bait and Tackle in Lively, and they're providing prizes for the top 3 anglers for the event. I don't know what the prizes are yet, but there'll be something good knowing from them. And with that, with your registration, there will be cash payout. So you'll have cash payouts will be determined based on how many anglers are registered. If we get 10 anglers, it's winner take all. If we have 20, it's top 3. If we get 30, it's top 5. And if you go on the Fish Donkey on the app or on the webpage and you look up the NCAA Weekend Series, you'll see all 4 qualifying events there. In there, they explain everything else and the rules and everything else and the prizes that are coming out. So with that, our second qualifier is brought to you by Fishy Fishy Bang Bang in Esperol, another bait shop up there. Our third qualifier at the beginning of June 5th to 7th, is the Trading Post in Sault Ste. Marie. And then our fourth qualifier is Sure Catch Baits here in Spanish. And then we have our championship in July. So with that, I mean, just a matter of going on the Fish Donkey, finding the NCAA, signing up for it. We do have way more events coming. We are going to be introducing bass events, or we're in the works of figuring that all out right now, and as well some multi-species. And this is, I guess, this is kind of our zig in a way. We've talked about this since the inception of the North Channel Walleye Open event, that we would go online. So this is kind of what's moving in that direction. And the reason for that is we ultimately have a hybrid event that we want to do, that Scottie and I have talked about. And we're hoping to get that going sooner than later, in a sense. So this is the start of it. So your participation in these kind of events, whether it's this one here or the Anglers Atlas Compre Series with CFN, this tells us a lot. This is a big story for us. So the more you do, the better it is.
Right on. And of course, great segue. Thank you for that. Makes it very simple for me. But who better to lean on to find out a little bit more about what the Compre Conquer All Challenge is? But my partner in crime, my other partner in crime, and the one and only Mike Consul.
Hey everyone, Michael Consul here. I couldn't be with you tonight, but I'm so excited about the new Shimano Compre line that I had to film this video. So there's a whole bunch of different Shimano Compres coming out in 2026, including a light panfish model. So to celebrate this launch, we are helping Shimano put together this awesome event coming up next month. And it is the Shimano Compre Conquer All Challenge. It's built for panfish. So we have 17 different types of fish, all small fish. The tagline of the event is small fish, big prizes. And when I talk about big prizes is you can win a brand new Shimano Compre. You can also win a whole bunch of weekly prize packs. And there's 2 combos to be given away. A Compre with a Vanford and a Compre with a Mirabelle. So all the details you can find at cfnfishoff.com. Sign up because the last weekend in May is when it starts and it runs all the way through June. And the last day to fish will be July 1st. So from May 30th all the way to Canada Day, catch as many fish as you can. Panfish, remember, small fish, big prizes. Look at the list, catch as many of those as you can. You can get 12 ballots per day for the entire stretch, because the more fish you catch, the more ballots you get, and the greater chances you can win a Shimano Compre. So go check it out. Sign up today. Totally free. Go to cfnfishoff.com. Sign up today.
Thanks, Mike. And of course, he's great in front of the camera, as you can tell. We've done TV together, so of course we know a thing or two about first shot. First, what do they call that? One shot Eddie. So needless to say, we had to get very good at it, and I'd have to say over the years we've honed our skills. So as Mike mentioned, of course, this is a little bit different than the CFN Fish Off as we typically do, because we want as many species as possible during the fish off. Because this is a panfish, what the judges and Mike and I had to do was we had to explore and make sure that all Canadians across our nation, whether it's all the way up into the territories or down on the border, some of the border cities, we wanted to make sure that everybody had at least 4 species. They had access to 4 species. Obviously, in some, depending on the province that you're in, Ontario being one of them, there are multiple species. The freshwater species are as follows, so follow along as we show you. Of course, the sunfish family, you got to start with the pumpkin seed, the bluegill, lots of bluegill available, of course, in Quebec and Manitoba. Green sunfish is a unique sunfish, again, more out in our western provinces. Red breast sunfish, again, sporadic through the Great Lakes, and yellow perch, obviously. I think just about every province has yellow perch. White perch, more the Great Lakes, I would say, but there are still areas and pockets in places like Manitoba, Quebec. Crappie, another favorite fish. Folks like to eat them as opposed to submit them as an entry. White bass, primarily Great Lakes. Mooneye, Manitoba. I highly recommend anybody from the province of Manitoba. And of course, the goldeneye. So those are your freshwater species. But it doesn't stop there, because, of course, we have coastal cities, coastal provinces, coastal towns that want to participate. And usually with the fish off, we have a great array of all kinds of folks, all kinds of anglers. And it doesn't really matter what province you're from. You have access to all these fish. So we wanted to do the same for the Compre Conquer All Challenge. And we've done this with, obviously, sea perch, otherwise known as cunner. Great eating fish. Pile perch is another perch that's available for salt, brackish water. Red-tailed surf perch, again, brackish water, but more salt than anything. And, of course, the shiner perch. So these are 4 small species that we would consider coarse fish, whatever you want to call them, smaller panfish. that are available on both coasts. So anybody that's fishing saltwater, freshwater, you have a chance to submit at least 4. But you can submit a ballot for all of them. And if you want to make the trek, if you want to drive, and sometimes some years past people have done that, you can put a ballot in for every species, but you can only put 1 ballot per day per species. So keep that in mind. And then, of course, as Mike said, there's some of the prizes. We've got a kids prize that we're really proud of that we're going to be showing off in the coming weeks. But we're going to be randomly giving 5 of these rods away. And the beautiful part of it, it is all ballot driven. And those who have participated in the CFN Fish Off, you know what that's all like, because, of course, it is all ballot driven during the Fish Off. It's no different here. The more species, the more ballots. So as I said, if you manage to catch 7 different species in one day, those are 7 ballots. If you only catch 4, it's 4 ballots. The more ballots, better chance you have to win. So at the end of the event, we're going to be raffling those off randomly. And then, of course, we have some interesting stuff that we always do with the Fish Off. This is kind of cool. It's a video draw. And basically, we want to hone in on folks who are already in possession of a Compre rod. If you are, and you manage to catch a fish that you submit with a Compre, you will be eligible for a video draw as well as the 5 rod draw. So just an added bonus pack, and of course it comes with a Mirabel reel. Mike also talked about the hero shot. If you show your Shimano, whatever it is, it could be a knife, it could be scissors, it could be a rod, reel, a hat, a wash towel. It doesn't matter. If it says Shimano on it, it's all about show your Shimano, and you will be eligible for our hero shot draw, which also includes a Compre rod, but not only that, a Vanford reel. So lots of stuff to give away, lots happening. And as it is right now, the entry form is available on CFN. Just go to the Google Drive, click on it. The event itself is being uploaded into Angler's Atlas. Once it is uploaded into Angler's Atlas, you can apply there and make sure you register. But we're taking early registrations to make sure that nobody is forgotten, nobody's lost, and everybody is signing up. Because at the end of the day, as Danny and myself and Mike are trying to do, we're trying to get as many of you anglers fishing, and we're trying to make the competitive side more fun. Would you agree, Dan?
We're all competitive. I mean, the long weekends come around. We know what it's like around camp, and you're going to hit all kinds of bets and all kinds of shit talking and all this kind of stuff. So we got some apps that you can just do that on right now, and we'll take care of the refereeing for you.
I also wanted to put a plug in for Go Large Fish Ruler. They have CFN rulers available that have our logo on it. But more importantly, if you purchase a Go Large Fish Ruler, or I believe you also have NXS that has rulers too, correct, Danny?
Yeah, we have the NXS tournament series, the tournament ruler bumps that we have there, and some of our dealers up north, I believe, still have some, and they've been bringing them in. And they're slotted for for zone 10 specifically with the marks and everything on them. So, but yeah, and they're a nice board. We use them with the NCAA. They're great boards, and the Go Large boards are phenomenal. Actually, I got to talk to the brothers, and they make a very beautiful product. And we're actually we're hoping to get something made for the NCAA through them.
Absolutely. But more importantly, if you purchase one of the 2 bump boards that Danny and I just mentioned, the best part about it is you don't have to verify it. It's already verified. If it's either one of the NXS or Go Large Fish Rulers, they automatically get a tick of approval. And if you're using those, we know you are legit. So keep that in mind. And of course, they're looking forward to getting a hold of you. Outside of that, Dan, I don't know, we don't really need to go the whole hour, but if you had anything else that you wanted to add before we take off?
No, we got a lot of stuff we just kind of blurted out here. So unless people have questions that they need some answers on, I'm pretty good because I can ramble sometimes and start talking in circles here.
Well, likewise, and my wife always says, Scottie, you're going to be talking when you're dead.
Yeah, exactly.
It might happen. She's probably 100% right. Well, with that, we don't want to keep you guys any more than we need to. All the information is available. If you have any questions, by all means, reach out to Danny, reach out to myself, and we'll try and point you in the right direction. Danny, as always, thanks so much for spending some time with us.
Thanks for having us, and thanks everybody.
Right on. We look forward to seeing you guys again next Wednesday. Hopefully Mike will be able to join us then. In the meantime, get out, get fishing, and have yourself some fun. Peace.